Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about variation number 16. This is going to be the beginning of the end, so to speak. Variations 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. The last 5 variations all come as one big finale. Now the last 2 or 3 variations will be glued together because they don't have breaks in between the variations. But starting at this point, we finish the lyrical melody and the variations in a major key. From here on, we're in D minor, and we're going all the way to the end of the piece. So Rachmaninoff is going to be building lots of excitement throughout these variations. So let's go ahead and talk about the beginning of the end. This is variation 16. As always, I want to be reminding you of what Corelli does in his theme. Harmonically, we go from D minor to A major, D minor to C major, F major back to C major, then D minor back to A major. So we're looking for that in this variation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just outline a few things for you. First, you'll notice that we have a few different lines going on. The first line is going to have the little slashes between them on the score, and they're simply going to outline some harmonies. Clearly hear D minor moving to A major. Now when we look at measure number 5 and 6, we'll see these big harmonies moving in an interesting way. What are the relationships between these chords? F major and F sharp minor. Well, they share the same note on the top voice, and that's an A. So there's the third of F major, the third of F sharp minor is A. And notice we have a major chord and a minor chord. He'll do this down a third between D flat major and D minor. And we've talked about how Rachmaninoff is constantly using D flat major and D minor as a way of juxtaposing major modes versus minor modes within this piece. So there's no coincidence that those are the harmonies that he uses. Finally, in measures 7 and 8, we just get a way of getting back to A major, which is very chromatic. Right? This top line is literally a chromatic scale, and the bottom line is literally a chromatic scale in opposite directions. And it takes us to our A major. So that takes us halfway through this variation. If we're thinking about the theme, the last 8 measures repeats the first 8 measures, but finds itself resolving back in D minor instead of on this A major chord. Rachmaninoff doesn't quite do that in this variation. He's going to keep developing it further. It doesn't sound the same at all. So he's first going to go back to this A chord and chromatically move to C major, and then he'll keep going to a D chord, moving chromatically to an F chord. So there's some semblance of the harmonic motion of the theme, but it's just hidden a little bit. Now finally, the last 3 measures, G flat major, G minor, B flat major, B minor. Like, these are not harmonies that we found at all within the Corelli theme. So he's just really exploring, and it's really makes for great music. Again, all he does here is uses the top voice as a way of gluing the music together. Those harmonies all share the same top voice. G flat to G minor, B flat to B minor. So it's just really interesting how he does that. So this variation is simply just juxtaposing those open fifths and fourths with these more exciting little arpeggios up an octave. And the way he does it harmonically is just incredible. And he has these little outbursts, and it's just a lot of fun to listen to. So let me go ahead and just play through all of variation 16 so you get a better idea of how this is all put together. is variation number 16. It has lots of energy, and it's just harmonically very complex, and it's definitely exploring lots of unknown regions, especially when we get all of these chromatically altered pitches. So come back tomorrow. We'll talk about how this goes directly into variation 17 and how variation 17 continues this momentum to get us to the very end of the piece. Well, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.